I'm gonna eat you, Mr. Twizzler. Oh. You gotta warn me before you come to my house, you know? You can't keep doing this. It's getting kind of weird. I'm getting concerned. It's creeping me out. Sorry. Anyway, welcome to another edition of Bet You Didn't Know That. I'm Dr. Heisenkleiner, world-renowned historian. Have you ever asked yourself what has happened before your existence? If the answer is no, then you better listen, you naive little grasshopper. Tonight, we're going to direct our focus back several hundred years to a time when change was abound and the New World was founded by Western Europe, creating a bridge between the known and the unknown. As the Spanish, British, and French colonized the Americas, the natives of that land were greeted with wars, epidemics, and territorial loss. It was immigration so fast that between the 16th and 19th centuries, an estimated 3 million Europeans and 12 million Africans crossed the Atlantic. Is there someone in my house? Is this, America? Hey, talking to you.
This is the land that me and my family have been living on for generations.
Oh, well, we're Spaniards from, Spain. We were told this place is teeming with crops, animals, and riches unknown to our distant country, or so we have read. We brought a couple things with us. We have a bunch of vegetables. There's a horse back there somewhere, I think. A few sheep, pigs, cattle. The rats kind of invited themselves, but that's alright. You should ride a horse sometime. It might actually make you a threat to us someday through an increase in efficient hunting and military capacity and junk, but I doubt it. We noticed you really like to hunt those furry cows, whatever they're called, so our horses might come in handy there. Hell, maybe you'd like to meet some of our women. Anyway, I read somewhere that this place was ours for the taking, so if you'll just kindly step aside.
Well, hold on just a second!
Oh, well, have you ever seen one of these?
Well, no.
Well, if this gun were caviar, then it'd make your little bow and arrow look like dog food, so, come on.
Okay.
Thank you. Hey there. And thus, the Columbian Exchange began, leading to a period of biological and technological transfers that drastically changed the American environments. With all these new diseases and population changes, the colonies of Spain, Portugal, England, and France became grounds for social and cultural experimentation and conflict. Early settlers from Spain and Portugal wanted to establish colonial societies according to the customs of their homelands. They believed in classes of society, uniformly Catholic, and extended family networks.
Thank you, great eagle spirit, for the bountiful harvest.
You pronounced Dios wrong. In a nutshell, they wanted what they had back in their homeland, just with a different view outside of their windows. Under this new blanket of change, the Native Americans tried to cling to the religious beliefs, practices, agricultural techniques, and medical practices.
Doctor, I have a headache.
Here, have some Pomawak leaf.
Nope. Hold on. Nope.
Oh, and by the way, if you think that I'm reading all of this off of a laptop, like right over there, I'm definitely not doing that. Don't think that. Don't think that I don't know this off the top of my head. Like, if you accuse me of plagiarizing, I will slap you senseless. I swear. I will stalk your family for 3 months. Alright? Alright? We clear on this issue? These, in time, influenced the development of Latin American culture. Another religious movement came from the arrival of the Pilgrims and the Puritans in the 17th century. Their intent was to break away from the Church of England and purify it on a land that wasn't ruled by a king. Just gonna check my email. Don't worry, I'm still saying this straight from my brain. I know it all. There is definitely someone in my house. Anyway, before this, economic change was happening in Peru, Mexico, and Brazil. Silver mined in Peru and Mexico and sugar plantations in Brazil reaped profit for the Europeans. This in turn fueled the growth of European capitalism, as well as greatly expanding trade with Asia. The darker side of this, of what sounds like a dream come true, involves the labor that was needed in order to harvest minerals and crops. Forced labor, known as encomienda, was used in Spanish colonies to provide them with textiles, food, and other goods. Peru's Amerindian population survived in large numbers, and from this the Spanish imposed a form of labor called the mita. 1/7 of adult male Amerindians had to work for 6 months each year in mines, farms, or textile factories. Some of these working conditions were extremely dangerous. Hearing of the successful acquisition of riches founded upon the conquest of the Aztecs, Incas, and other large Native American populations in the 16th century, the first Englishmen to arrive in America were hopeful for a similar success. They founded a settlement in Jamestown, Virginia, through support from the Chartered Virginia Company and financed by wealthy Englishmen who were aware of this new land's economic potential. The hopes to find gold and a passage to the Indies fueled the intentions of the settlers. John Smith, one of the settlers who could be regarded as a leader of sorts, attempted to convince the colonists of Jamestown that the search for gold would not change the fact that they needed proper food and shelter.
He who shall not work shall not eat.
Oh, shut up, Smith!
Hey, what is that? What is that?
I saw this plant back there.
Right.
I decided to roll it up, light it up and ingest it.
Let's see that. Dennis, you're a genius!
Tobacco quickly became an important cash crop for export and supported nearby colonies such as Maryland. In order to harvest other important crops such as rice and indigo, indentured servants were set to work on plantations throughout the English colonies in the South. From 1587 until the 1680s, the main source of labor and a large portion of immigrants in Virginia settlements consisted of indentured servants. With the help of certain figures such as Olaudah Equiano, the Slave Trade Act of 1807 helped British lawmakers abolish the slave trade. Well, everybody, that about does it for tonight. I hope you learned something about the land that you live on. And remember, next time you declare that America's better than everywhere else, keep in mind that your ancestors went through some heavy shit to get here. Good night, everyone. Stay tuned for a new episode of Jersey Shore.